What's happening, everybody? It's Billy, the Playmakers Day, and we are back for New York Playmakers. Coming back. This is my third show. I thank you guys. Why don't we get started? We'll go to baseball first. We'll start with the New York Yankees and their off-season attractions and acquisitions. Um, so far, they're still in the Juan Soto rumor mill. Um, we need to sign him. We need to re-sign him as much as it takes. He's looking for about, I think, 14 years, 12 to 14 at least, which is a lot, but he's a young kid. I think he's 26 or 27 years old. He's right about there with my age. But he's looking for 12 to 14 years, $600 million. It's a fuck ton. It's a shit ton. But that's pretty much what he's worth. I think he's worth about that much. Maybe a little less, maybe like 570, 580, but still about that 12-year mark. That's really where you want to sign him at. He's just that fantastic of a player. He's really, really dialed in, more so as a DH than an outfielder. Defensively, he has a fantastic arm. He does. He has a really, really great arm. But when it comes to actual fielding, moving out in the outfield and right, he doesn't have that kind of hustle that, say, maybe Alex Verdugo, Aaron Judge has, or even the Martian, Jason Dominguez, which he'll be up for this year too. So we'll be on the lookout for that. He just doesn't have that much hustle. He's just a pure power hitter. That's all he pretty much is. He is just a power hitter, and he's got a good arm in the field. Not much defensively. His numbers don't look all that great. But still, he's a young kid with this much star power, raw talent, that he's worth this much money. Now, he could go to the Yankees, he could go to the Mets, or, as unfortunate as that sounds for us New York fans, he could also go to the Dodgers or the Red Sox or the Phillies. He's also looking at too. I think he's got a couple meetings this week, I think with Boston. He may have already had that with Boston. But he's got one with the Dodgers coming up and the Phillies also coming up. So what happens with the Yankees if they can't re-sign Juan Soto? If they can't sign him to this buku fuck ton amount of money, where does he go? What do the Yankees do? If the Yankees cannot re-sign him, if they can't get to that point, here's a couple options that they have. They could bring up Spencer Jones. They could do that. They could bring him up, even though he's not that good yet. He's not really worth that MLB contract yet. He's getting there. He needs a few more years, probably three years, three, 4 solid years down in the minors, and he could get there. He really could. But what else do? You have a core outfield already. You have Jason Dominguez, who could play right, or flip-flop him and the captain, Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is supposed to be a right fielder anyway. So you stick Judge back in right. You go with Jason Dominguez in center. And you maybe go Alex Verdugo, Oswaldo Cabrera out and left. You could do that. As for the other aspects that the Yankees really, really need, if they don't re-sign Juan Soto, their next big signing or acquisition that they could go look forward to is Willy Adames. He could take up that second base place in Gleyber Torres. He could replace him, or you move Anthony Volpe over to second, or Jazz Chisholm. Now, even with this empty space in second, you still got to look at a third baseman. Jazz Chisholm's probably the answer. You keep Volpe at short. That's probably the answer that you're looking for. Then you go and re-sign, or sign, I should say, Willie Adames over second, which is one of the Yankees' favorites. They're one of the higher interests if they can't complete this Juan Soto re-sign. And first base. Pretty much they have TJ Rumfield down in the minors who, again, probably needs a couple more years. He probably does. Or the Yankees, again, a lot of interest here. They signed Christian Walker. You know, I like Christian Walker at first base. I really do. I like what he's about. He's a little up there in age, but that doesn't matter with him. It's just raw, pure talent at this stage of the game with Christian Walker. Another thing too for over at second, which there's some rumor mill going around. Caleb Durbin down in the minors, he's the second baseman for the Yanks. He could be brought up and starting. I like it. I like what the kid's all about. I really like him. He's a star in the making at second base. That's what I think. Do it. If you're the Yankees, fuck it. Why not? What have you got to lose? You have all this money. You have all of this chunk change. Use it. Use it. Even if you have to be like the Dodgers, defer this fuck ton amount of money. Do it. What have you got to lose? Nothing. Nothing. You have nothing to lose. I was taking a phone call at first. Starting pitching, which is another Yankee need. You look at Max Fried, you look at, Corbin Burns, even if you have to look at, Shane Bieber or Nathan Eovaldi, or even go back with Andrew Heaney. That could be your, 3, 4, 5 guys. Maybe 4 or 5. You have Garrett Cole already, who's your ace. You have Luis Heel. You have Clark Schmidt. That's your 3 right there. Then you could flip-flop if you don't sign everyone. You could flip-flop Nestor Cortez and Marcus Stroman in the starting role. Not that you really want to, but you would be kind of forced to, kind of look that way. Or you sign, all those guys, Burns, Fried, even Shane Bieber, or all them. You could go out and sign them, but say you don't. Say you don't sign, Max Fried or Corbin Burns. You look at maybe Andrew Heaney or Nathan Eovaldi. They're both open. Or even from the Mets, Sean Manaea is open. You look at, just lower tier pitchers that say go 4 or 5 innings. You flip them out for the last 2 starting spots between them, Nestor Cortez, and Marcus Stroman. Simple enough, I should say. For the bullpen, possibly, you could look at, David Robertson, get a solid reunion with him, maybe sign him for a 2-3 year deal. That would add another bullpen arm for the Yankees that they must need. So going over to the Mets over in Queens. They just signed Frankie Montas, a starting pitcher, to a 2-year, $34 million deal with an opt-out after the 2025 season. Now, he was a Yankee for not that long, and he did poorly for all that time. But over in Milwaukee, he had a pretty okay season. He had a solid season for what he was, for what he could be. So it's not that bad of a signing from the Mets. I'm in favor of it. Yeah, I'm in favor of it. You know, it's not a bad signing. It's not the greatest signing, but it's something. It's another piece of the puzzle that they needed. It's just it was a necessary part of the plan that needed to be taken. So you're still, you're down a couple starters. Sean Manaea, Jose Quintana, both left. You could re-sign them for maybe one, probably 1 to 3 years. That's probably your kind of last backup option, your option Z, I should say. But you got to shop for Corbin Burns, Max Fried, Shane Bieber, Nathan Eovaldi, Andrew Heaney, guys that that are solid starters that can get you that last piece of the puzzle that the Mets are looking for in their starting rotation. You got to look at those types of starters. You got to look at those types of pitchers that you really, really need. Because you got there, you got to the playoffs for what feels like the first time in forever for him. You got there, but you didn't do much of nothing once you played the Dodgers. You got to get there. You got to beat them. You have to. Now, I know that's asking for a lot. Coming from the Yankees, it's asking for a lot of them. But, oh well. You got to do it. You just have to do what you need to do in order to win, in order to get that World Series, even make it to the chip, even make it there. But you got to get there. You have to get there. More offseason signings for the Mets. The biggest one is probably Jose Siri. He came from over from Tampa. He's an outfielder. He's a very good acquisition. I really like him. I like what he's fast. He's versatile. He's a good bat. He's a good 3-tool player. He's got that talent that the Mets were looking for. Another piece of the puzzle. It's a good signing. It's a great signing for him. They also signed Genesis Cabrera to a minor league deal. He's a left-handed pitcher, for those that don't know. Another good signing. The Mets are down a few lefties. So if you don't earn another lefty from free agency, you bring him up to the bigs with ease. Because he's easily a starter in the majors. He's done it before, obviously. So you do that. You sign him. You bring him back up. Another few agent signings for him. Chris Davinsky, Dylan Covey, Kevin Herget, Rico Garcia, Justin Hagenman. All pitchers. All great signings. All great bullpen arms. Even throw him as a starter if you need to. Great signings by the Mets. I really like them. They also signed first baseman Joey Meneses, catcher Jackson Reitz, and Hobie Harris, right-handed pitcher. All the minor league deals. All good signings. Something that they all needed, that the Mets really needed. But what you gotta really do, and you're still in this race with either of these guys, Pete Alonso, Juan Soto. Mets are the front runners for Pete Alonso. He wants to stay there, but he's looking for all that money. He's looking for all that change that the Mets have, as is Juan Soto. Now, if you're the Mets owner, you're playing with this money. You got to do what's necessary for this team. So if you get one, you can't get the other. So what do? Pete Alonso, he does want to stay a Met for all of his time. He's a great, solid first baseman. Maybe not the best defensively, but he's still great. I still like him. Or, you sign Juan Soto to that big buck, 14 years, 600 mil, 600, probably 25 now. You sign him to that big deal that he's looking for. Again, you got to do what's necessary. You got to take that risk it for the biscuit. Do what you need to do. Take that money. Use it wisely. Wisely. You sign all of these guys in the offseason so far, all the names I just listed. You have your core team. Do what's possible. Do what you need to do for this ball club. Play your fucking heart out. Now, speaking of playing your fucking heart out, or maybe not so much, I should say, the New York Football Giants, more like the New York fucking Giants. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're on a 7-game losing skid. What are you doing? You lose the rest of the season as one should in this 2-10 stage of the game with the worst record, tied for the worst record in the league. You lose. You get that, starting quarterback that you were looking for. Shedeur Sanders is one of the favorites out of Colorado. Cam Ward as well from Miami. And I also like Quinn Ewers from Texas. They're all good fits for the Giants. They're all necessities for the Giants. I've liked them, in college, watching them play. They're all pretty lights out star players that the Giants could definitely need and do definitely need. This week they're facing the 4-8 Saints at home. Even with their losing record, their under 500 record, the Saints are lights out. As much as I hate to say it, although I may or may not have Alvin Kamara on my fantasy football team this year, who's absolutely dominating. It's going to be another losing week. It'll be on the 8-game skid for the Giants. It's going to happen. It's really going to happen. As shitty as it sounds and as bad as it sounds, that's what's going to happen. You're going to lose this game. But with that, you lose the rest of this year. You bomb, you tank, you destroy yourselves in every possible way, and you lose the rest of the season. And you go out, get the first draft pick, maybe even second or third, if you really, if you make it there, or down that low anyway. And you do what you need to do for this team and go out, get what you need to do. Draft that quarterback, finish up the O-line, get some secondaries. Your cornerbacks are looking a little squeamish, especially with Deontay Banks hurt now. It's been hurt. You got to do it. You got to just lose this rest of the season and just fall apart, basically. Fall apart, get that draft pick, get all those draft picks, trade up if you really, really have to, and lose. Get those guys that you really, really want. Easier said than done for this Giants team. Even with Brian Dable as the head coach, even with him, with this team that you have that's half falling apart, half good, probably 3/4 bad, but you still got to do what you got to do. You got to really think about the best interest of this team. Lose the rest of the season, stay at these 2-win mark, and go out and have a fantastic draft. For this week, anyway, Drew Lock starting at quarterback with a hurt Tommy DeVito. Tommy DeVito's still a little banged up in his forearm, I believe. So Drew Lock's your starting quarterback for now. That's really it. Your only other positives is wide receiver Malik Neighbors, who's having a stellar rookie year, and Tyrone Tracy. This is going to be a big week in terms of running against the Saints because they let up the most rushing yards against them. So look for even Devin Singletary to get in the mix. You throw Tyrone Tracy into the mix as he should be, which he should be the starter. But again, you gotta just ride out the rest of the season and lose. I'm gonna say the same thing about the New York Jets. Flipping over here, the Jets, a lot of team needs. Aaron Rodgers, he may leave at the end of the season. At the end, the owner says he doesn't think it's really going to happen. Then he's going to stay. So again, you do the same thing as the Giants, and go out and get yourself a quarterback. Someone, or if Rodgers does decide to stay and not retire, you still draft the quarterback as you should and let them be under Aaron Rodgers backing up and throw him into the mix. Then at the end of the next season, toss him away. Bye-bye, Aaron Rodgers. Goodbye. See ya. It was nice knowing you. Again, Shadur Sanders out of Colorado. Cam Ward from Miami. I also like Jalen Milroe from Alabama. I do like him. I like all those guys for the Jets. Milroe's a little more fitting for him, in my opinion. But those are the top three favorites for this quarterback-heavy draft. They're now 3-9 after giving up the game against Seattle. It's funny. Like, what are you doing? It's the same thing. You're losing week in and week out with this supposedly phenomenal quarterback, which he is now washed. But you start off the game good. Start off the game hot. 14 points in the first quarter, 7 in the second. Then you give up the rest of the game. You're leading at halftime, but you lose the rest of this game. What's the reason? You're more than capable of winning the game. You're at that point, even entering the second half, where you can do so much damage, even against this Seattle team, but you lose? You don't score any more points in the second half? It's just like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing, guys? Oh, man. It's atrocious. Watching the Giants and the Jets both fail atrociously, miserably, doing so awful this season and in previous seasons, or so if you're Giants fans. But you're losing. You're just absolutely destroying and molesting yourselves. So you throw it all away this season. You go out and have a good draft for both of these teams. And that's what you do. You draft the quarterback. You draft your missing pieces, which for the Jets, it's clear as fucking day. It's the offensive line. You're missing wide receivers behind Garrett Wilson. You're in need of a defensive tackle, safety. Basically your whole offense. Tight end. Your cornerbacks or your secondaries, they're all missing too. They're all missing key parts. So lose. Go out on free agency this offseason or even now and just fucking go for it. Just go for it. It's like, what are you doing at this point? Just do what you need to do. This week they are facing the 5-7 Miami Dolphins they're playing on the road. Probably another loss for the Jetters. Probably another one. Although they could pull it off, but probably not. Tua took a Vivola. Tua turn the ball over. Tua do the hell what you want to do. He's been pretty unstoppable ever since coming back from his concussion. From his, what feels like 23 of them at this point. Tua's been pretty lights out. He's been pretty solid as star of the season. So probably another loss for the Jetters. Now, getting to the bright side of things. The Buffalo fucking Bills. Hello? You're in line for you're in line for the AFC Championship, baby. Like, let's go. Come on. Yeah. You're 10-2, which is your one of your best years that you're having. With that against the 49ers, you're now on a 7-game winning streak. First time since 1991. You clinch a division. You're under the playoffs with a berth. Looking sky high, baby. Sky fucking high. Sky high. This is what you want. You are in line to be in the championship game or even be in the Super Bowl. This is what you are. This is what you're made for. Now, your only defense, the Chiefs, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Chiefs of Kansas City. This is your kryptonite. As good as that team is, with Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, literally any other player you could think of on that team, the Chiefs are pretty lights out, but the Bills are more than capable of doing that. They are more than capable of winning against that Chiefs team, no matter how you look at it. You can look at the stats. They are more than capable of doing so. So, again, you're in line for that championship game. Do it. Be there. Win. Josh Allen. Stellar year. He's having an MVP season caliber year. He is probably first. He's probably first in MVP voting. I think he actually is now after that fantabulous game against San Francisco. He had a passing touchdown, a rushing touchdown, and a receiving touchdown as a quarterback. That's never been done before. He's the first one this year. It's phenomenal. That whole play with Amari Cooper was great. Cooper he got the reception from Allen, and as he was being tackled, getting that close to the end zone, you're within the 10-yard line, and you flip it to him. Flip to Josh Allen. Here you go. Happy birthday. I'll see you on your way. Phenomenal play. Phenomenal heads-up thinking by Cooper there for what is it? A receiving touchdown, passing and receiving touchdown on that play for Josh Allen. Phenomenal, man. It's just phenomenal. Another big thing was the return and re-sign of safety Micah Hyde. Thank God. Welcome back. I should say welcome home, man. You're more than loved up by this Bills team. Everyone loves you. Everyone wanted you back. Sad part, though, is Hyde's retiring at the end of the season. So he says, so the reports and rumors have said it's probably going to happen for him. But again, he's going to go on this fantastic Bills run in the playoffs. They're again in line to make it to the AFC Championship game against this Kansas City Chiefs team, in hopes that they make it to the Super Bowl. It's just lights out. It's phenomenal play by these Bills team. You love it. You're loving every second of it. However, if you're the Giants or the Jets, you're not loving it. You're loving absolutely nothing. Oh. So, doing a little wrap up here. Yankees, Mets, you got to do what you got to do for this team. You got to sign Juan Soto. Again, if you're the team, you go out and get, more players in the defense, more defensively. Christian Walker, if you're the Yankees, Willie Adames, both necessary parts of this puzzle that the Yankees need. More starting pitching for the Mets. Again, starting pitching. That's what you're ideally looking for. Now you lost Luis Severino to the Athletics, the Sacramento, almost Las Vegas Athletics. They are no longer Oakland. That was a great signing by them. Even though Severino's on that decline, as age comes, as Yankees fans know, as Mets fans do know, even though they got that lights out year this year from him. You still got to do what you got to do. You got to go out, forget about them, forget about all the players that you lost. Go out and do what you need to do and sign all those players. Juan Soto is the biggest free agent there is right now. Even with all these other teams in the mix, whether it's the Yankees, the Mets, Dodgers, Phillies, Red Sox, Cubs, whoever you may be, if you're the Yankees or the Mets, you got to sign them. You have to. Or you get out, get other pieces of the puzzle. You sign Christian Walker, Willie Adames. Who else did I list here? That's really about it. Sign more starting pitching. Max Fried, Corbin Burns, Shane Bieber, even Nathan Eovaldi. I liked him. More so not in Boston. But he's a good free agent. He's a good start. He's a solid starting pitching. Over in Texas. He was good. I liked him. I liked what he was about. Even Andrew Heaney. Again, lower level guys that you gotta look at. You gotta really look after them. You gotta look at all these stats that they have. Look how good they could be, or how bad they were, and you re-sign them. Oh, the Yankees. Cody Bellinger. If you don't get Juan Soto, you can go after Cody Bellinger, because he is also one of the favorites to go there, along with Walker Buehler, starting pitching. So moving back over to cover my ass over in football, Giants, Jets, lose the rest of the season, you tank, you bomb, you throw it all away in the trash can, you forget about this season, and you go out and have a fan-fabulous draft. You do what you got to do at this losing stage of the game. You have fun with it. You got to have fun with it, but go out, lose the rest of the season, even if you lower the morale of this team, you lose, tank, bomb, burn it, just throw it fucking down. That's what you got to do. You got to lose. Whatever you may need to do. If you're the Giants or the Jets, lose. Say adios to the season. Again, we're going to end with the bright side of things. Buffalo fucking Bills. You guys are the team to beat, even with teams like the Kansas City Chiefs that you got to look out for in the AFC. Play your heart out, guys. Just do it. With that, I got to get out of here. I got to get the fuck out of here. So I'll see you guys next week on New York Playmakers with me, Billy Zay, the Playmaker. I'll see y'all later.
We were great. We were free. Had a country that couldn't be beat. We were right